الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا اللهم بما علمتنا وزدنا اللهم علما وعملا إنك ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. أما بعد، فنواصل درسنا المعتاد في السيرة، وكنا آخر ما أخذناه هو آه، حادثة الإفك أو قصة الإفك. وكانت تلك القصة والحادثة في سنة خمس على الصحيح في شهر شعبان. واليوم إن شاء الله سنتحدث عن غزوة الأحزاب أو غزوة الخندق، يسمى بذلك أيضا، تسمى بالخندق وتسمى بالأحزاب. وسنذكر سبب التسميتين إن شاء الله من كلام أهل العلم يسرنا الله ذلك. So last thing we took was the story of the lie, the slander against Aisha radiallahu anha. And today, inshallah, we're going to begin the topic of the war or the battle of Al-Ahzab, or the federation or the groups of the disbelievers. And it's also called Ghazwat al-Khandaq, or the battle of the trench. And we're going to mention why it has those two names in the books of Seerah. ولا شك أن الله أنزل سورة باسمها سورة الأحزاب، وسنقف وقفات مع هذه الآيات العظيمة من خلال هذا الدرس. وقلنا هذا من أعظم الفوائد من درس السيرة، أن نتعرض لتفاسير هذه الآيات التي هي بمناسبة المواقف في السيرة. And we said that in the beginning of the class of Seerah, that one of the greatest benefits of the class of Seerah is that we can study in detail and understand these verses regarding these events and these stations of the Seerah. And from that is the Surah Al-Ahzab, which is revealed, as we know, concerning this battle. And we'll mention, inshallah, some of those verses as an introduction. And then we'll go into details in the next class, inshallah. طيب، فهذه الغزوة يقول الحافظ ابن كثير رحمه الله في كتابه الفصول: فصل يشتمل على ملخص غزوة الخندق. He said this chapter is containing a summary of the battle of Khandaq. التي ابتلى الله فيها عباده المؤمنين وزلزلهم. That battle in which Allah tested His believers, His servants, and He shook them. وثبت أي بعد ذلك الإيمان في قلوب أوليائه. And then after that test, He strengthened and established the faith in the heart of His close allies, His friends, the believers. وأظهر ما كان يبطنه أهل النفاق وفضحهم. And also He exposed that which the hypocrites were hiding. He brought it public. As we said, this is the hypocrites have their job. دأبهم بث التشويش والبلبلة، إحداث البلبلة بين صفوف المؤمنين في كل غزوة تقريبا. هذا شأنهم. And we mentioned that the hypocrites always in these battles هم العدو الداخلي. هناك الأحزاب الخارجية، ومن داخل المنافقون العدو الداخلي. والداخلي في أغلب الأحيان يكون أخطر وأشد على المؤمن من العدو الخارجي. And the hypocrites, we said, is the internal enemy, while the disbelievers, be it the mushrikun or the Jews, as they played a role in this battle, Banu Qurayza, they're the outside enemy, apparent enemy, and the hidden enemy, the munafiqun. And no doubt, the one that's hidden, you don't see him coming as an enemy. So the one who's hidden is more dangerous. And so they always try to create friction and create doubts and create false rumors. uh, كما سبق ذكره في قصة الإفك وفي الرجوع بين بني المصطلق. يعني هم بثوا في المؤمنين هذه الأخبار الخاطئة عن عائشة رضي الله عنها أم المؤمنين، وفي ما بثوا به من اللمز والسب لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and how they used to spread the lie. They're the ones behind the lie against Aisha, and they also tried in this battle to make their friction and create some disorder in the ranks. طيب, فالابتلاء في هذه الغزوة من عدة صور كما ذكره أهل العلم. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى عن هذه الغزوة: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ جاءتكم جنود فأرسلنا عليهم ريحا وجنودا لم تروها وكان الله بما تعملون بصيرا إذ جاءوكم من فوقكم ومن أسفل منكم وإذ زاغت الأبصار وبلغت القلوب الحناجر وتظنون بالله الظنونا هنالك ابتلي المؤمنون وزلزلوا زلزالا شديدا. هنالك ابتلي المؤمنون، ابتلاء، والله يبتلي عباده. هذه سنة الله حتى يميز الصادق من الكاذب والمؤمن من المنافق والصابر من الجازع. So Allah said in this surah Al-Ahzab, ayah 11, in that time Allah tested the believers and shook them, a severe shaking. When the enemies, the Confederates, the armies came to you, جاءتكم جنود فأرسلنا عليهم ريحا, then we sent against them a wind. We'll come to mention the wind. Allah assisted the believers with the wind. أيدهم وجنودا لم تروها, وجنود لم تروها أي ملائكة. وكان الله بما تعملون بصيرا إذ جاءوكم من فوقكم ومن أسفل منكم. أي جاء الأحزاب من فوق أي من جهة الشمال، كما هو مذكور أنهم ما وجدوا فرجة لا عن يمين أي لا عن شرق ولا عن غرب ولا عن جنوب، إنما الطريق المكشوف من جهة الشمال، فجاءوا من فوقكم. هذا المقصود. الأحزاب منهم قريش وغطفان، القبائل التي تجمعت وتآلبت في غزو المدينة في هذه السنة، جاءوا من فوقكم ومن أسفل منكم. من هو في الأسفل؟ إن كان قريش من فوق، من أسفل؟ ذكر أنهم بنو قريظة لأنهم سكان في جنوب المدينة، فجاءوا لما نقضوا العهد من خلال أثناء هذه الغزوة، فهم غزوا المؤمنين من أسفل، لا من أول لكن من أثناء الغزوة لما نقضوا العهد. So there, this means Allah, when He mentioned when He tested you, when they came to you, the armies from above you and from below you. From above you means, Al-Medina, there is above there's an opening to get into it. It's not guarded, it's not protected. So they try to utilize and take advantage of the north path, from the north. And from below you meaning from the south. And who lives in the south? The Jews, Banu Qurayza, they live in the south. And also, so they tried to, as the battle proceeded and went on, they broke the covenant. Initially they had a pact. وهذا دأب اليهود كما سبق معنا ما حصل من بني قينقاع أولا ثم بني نضير وأخيرا بني قريظة. وهؤلاء قبائل اليهود المشهورة الثلاث، فهم كلهم نقضوا العهد لأنهم أصحاب غدر وخيانة من كل زمان ومكان، عياذا بالله. So what happened? The Jews, they broke their covenant. They had a peace contract, as the Prophet ﷺ had with all the Jews, and they all broke the contract. They all deceived. They all were people of trickery. They all these three tribes. First, the one who broke the contract we mentioned was Banu Qaynuqa. وكان ذلك بعد غزوة بدر. بعد غزوة بدر فهم استغلوا ما احتسبوا من ضعف المسلمين بعد هذه الغزوات الأمهات، بعد بدر وبعد أحد، وأخيرا بعد أخيرا بعد بني بعد الأحزاب، أي في أثناء الأحزاب. فهم استغلوا انشغال المسلمين بالعدو بأن يشاركوا في محاربة الله ورسوله. So what happened? The Jews, every time they try to, at the time when they perceive a weakness in the Muslims, that they're busy with some distraction, then they will try to take advantage of that opportunity to break the contract. So it's cowardly, first of all, and secondly, they try to, they're not honest, and they do not keep the trust. إِلَّا مَن رَحِمَ اللَّهِ, except who Allah has mercy on him. So this Banu Qaynuqa, we said, they broke the covenant first after the Battle of Badr. Battle of Badr, of course, the Muslims have just had a big battle, so they are busy, they're wounded, they're tired. Then they try to break the contract. And Banu Nadir, this was after the Battle of Uhud. After Battle of Uhud, we know this was almost like a defeat in some sense. Very wounded, very weak. So the Banu Nadir, they broke the contract. And فَأَجْلَاهُمْ الرَّسُولُ صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى خيبر وإلى الشام بعضهم. So when the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم fought them, Banu Nadir, as we mentioned before, after the Battle of Uhud, he expelled them. We took this previously. He expelled them from their dwellings, and they had to just carry whatever they could from their homes on their camels. That's all they could take. فهم خربوا الديار وأخلعوا الأبواب وحملوها على الإبل إلى جهة الشام وسكنوا هناك وبعضهم إلى خيبر. So what did the Jews of Banu Nadir, after they were defeated, after the Battle of Uhud, they were expelled to Sham, to the Jordan, Syria, that area. And some of them, though, went to Khaybar, as we mentioned. Khaybar is a place, close to Al-Medina, is close to that area. And that Khaybar, we mentioned before, some of the leaders, of the Mushrikeen, Huyay ibn Akhtab was Salam ibn al-Huqayq. Two of the big leaders of the Banu Nadir, Huyay and Salam, they went to Khaybar. So this is the background. So now they're living in Khaybar, okay? These Jews who were from Banu Nadir. Okay, and now the last tribe is Banu Qurayza. Banu Qurayza, they were living, as we said, in the south end of Al-Medina. And they took advantage of Al-Ahzab. When the Confederates came to the north, they tried to attack they planned to attack from the south. جاءوكم من فوقكم ومن أسفل منكم. هذا المقصود, from below you. Okay, so وبلغت القلوب وإذ زاغت الأبصار. حصل نوع من خوف والفزع. وبلغت القلوب الحناجر، أي انتقلت القلوب من أماكنها الصدور إلى الحناجر من شدة الخوف. So when Allah said, and when they came upon you from above you and from below you, and when the eyes grew wild, زاغت, they were, when you're surprised, then the eyes wander in astonishment that what's happening. Out of fear and fright, and the hearts reached the throats. When you're surprised suddenly, You feel like your heart has moved. You know, your heart has moved from its place to the throat, and you were harboring doubts about Allah. You're frightened because this is a big event. This is now just not just Quraysh. This is now Al-Ahzab. اجتمعت مع قريش غطفان وبنو أسد وغيرهم من قبائل لغزو المدينة. Uh, then so this is the background. This is what the story is. I mean, the event is about. فقال الحافظ وثبت الإيمان في قلوب أوليائه. Then after the battle started to get, not really a battle, as we'll see, it was not really a battle, but the event started to gain traction and started to proceed. Then Allah made it easy for the believers, and there was a solution to the fright, and there was steadfastness, and there was tamkeen, and there was victory, a big victory, a great victory in this battle. And ثم أنزل نصره ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. Then Al-Hafiz said, then Allah sent down His victory for the believers, and He assisted His servant, meaning Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وهزم الأحزاب وحده, and He defeated the Confederates alone, by Himself. Meaning, what does it mean? Allah defeated them. Meaning, بدون قتال. لم يلقوا حربا كما قال الله في هذه السورة ورد الله الذين كفروا بغيظهم لم ينالوا خيرا وكفى الله المؤمنين القتال. Therefore Allah said in ayah 25, and Allah, He repelled, and Allah drove back those disbelievers in their rage. Meaning they were coming very angrily. أرادوا ثأرا أرادوا انتقاما وعداوة. They came to get revenge because they've been defeated now. They've tasted defeat multiple times. In Badr, their heads were killed. In Uhud, they didn't get what they wanted. بل المصطلق إلى غيره غزوات كثيرة ولم يحصلوا شيئا. So they're now trying to get revenge for the death of their honorable ones, the leaders, and they're trying to get, because this is the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam من بني جدتهم يعني نشأ فيهم ويعني أظهر عداوة لدينهم وسب أجدادهم وسفه عقولهم. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has come with the religion that made them look foolish. You know, it's made them look like fools in front of the whole society, and so they're enraged. They're very angry. He basically called their ancestors as foolish people, meaning because they were upon this foolish religion, it was understood that it was kind of it would made no sense, with all hujjat wa barahin wadiha qati'a, clear proofs, no one can deny that the religion of their forefathers was foolishness. I mean, they worship stones and sticks, and you know, ذكر أن أحدهم كان يعبد صنما فأحد المشركين فجاء ثعلب فبال على صنمه فانتقد نفسه وتنبه لسفهه فذكر شعرا فرجع عن دينه وأسلم. Is mentioned one of them, he used to worship an idol. And one time a fox came and urinated on his idol. Akramakumullah. It came and urinated on his idol. Then he realized, what is this? My idol cannot even defend himself. This is my God. This is God. Can't defend himself from being filthy, you know, becoming defiled by urine from an animal. يعني أرب يبول الثعلبان برأسه. He mentioned some poetry, I don't remember. He said, is it a Lord that the fox can urinate on his head? This is not a God. This doesn't deserve. So it's foolishness. So he became Muslim on that reason. So the point is that they came, رَدَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِغَيْظِهِمْ. Allah drove back those who disbelieved in their rage. لم ينالوا خيرا, they gained no advantage, meaning no victory, no spoils. They didn't open Medina. They didn't do anything. و- وكفى الله no. وكفى الله المؤمنين القتال, and Allah sufficed for the believers in the fight, meaning sending the severe wind and sending the troops of angels, meaning there was no physical fight. Yes, they built the trench, as we know. They did a lot of work, hard work to build the trench, that which repelled the disbelievers. But Allah assisted them. فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ رِيحًا وَجُنُودًا لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. As Allah said, we sent upon them wind. And the wind, as will come, came and blew out their fires and overturned their tents of the disbelievers on that side of the trench. And so this is a miracle. هذه معجزة. وهذا تأييد من Allah. This is a victory and assistance from Allah. And He sent the angels as well. وَجُنُودًا لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ قَوِيًّا عَزِيزًا. And Allah is the all-strong, the Almighty. So this, this is the end of the battle. فقال الحافظ ابن كثير وأعز جنده ورد الكفرة بغيظهم ووقى المؤمنين شر كيدهم وذلك بفضله ومنه. Then he said Allah had the bounty and the favor upon the believers by defeating the disbelievers and repelling their plot. طيب وحرم عليهم على الكفار شرعا وقدرا أن يغزو المؤمنين بعدها بل جعلهم المغلوبين وجعل حزبه هم الغالبين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Then Al-Hafidh, he said, and he made prohibited upon the disbelievers to ever again, after this point, it was a turning point in the whole struggle. He made it impossible, haram, upon the disbelievers to attack the believers in their dwellings. And يغزو المؤمنين في ديارهم. بل كان الأمر العكس. بل كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم والمؤمنون يغزون الكفار في ديارهم ويذهبون إليهم فيما بعد كما هو مشهور في فتح مكة وغيره. فكان يعني هذا نقطة يعني تقلب في الأمور في الغزوات. So this is the point, turning point, that no longer after this battle, never again did the disbelievers come to Medina to fight. Never again came to the land of the believers. Rather, the believers went to their lands to fight them. والحمد لله رب العالمين. وكانت في سنة 5 في شوالها على الصحيح من قولي أهل المغازي والسيرة. So this battle, Al-Ahzab, was when? In the 5th year from the Hijrah, in the month of Shawwal. على الصحيح يعني في خلاف, لكن خلاف ضعيف. الأدلة تدل على القول الأول أنها كان في سنة 5 في سنة 5. The proofs are several, and نستفيد من ذكرها استنباط أهل العلم كيف أنهم يستدلون ويفهمون النصوص. ففي الرجوع إلى كلام أهل العلم ما يقرب العلم للطالب ويفيده الاستنباط وكيف يعني يفهم النصوص على الوجه الصحيح. So here the author Al-Hafidh brings some details about the timing, history. The correct opinion is it was in the 5th year. لأن أحد كانت في سنة 3 في شهر شوال. وقال بعض أهل العلم أن الأحزاب كانت في سنة 4 أو سنة 4 ولكن هذا غير صحيح لما سنذكره. So some scholars say it was in the 4th year, Al-Ahzab. We know Uhud was in the 3rd year, in the month of Shawwal. That's for sure. Now, لماذا لا يمكن أن يكون الأحزاب في سنة 4؟ الدليل على ذلك أنه لا خلاف أن أحدا كانت في شوال في سنة 3. وتقدم ما ذكر أهل العلم بالمغازي أن أبا سفيان وعدهم العام المقبل بدرا وأنه خرج إليهم. What's the proof? The proof that it cannot be in the 4th year. There's a very interesting point that Abu Sufyan, we didn't mention it, but Abu Sufyan, he after Uhud, he said, عند مصرفه نادى للمؤمنين موعدكم إيانا بدر العام المقبل. He said, we're going to meet again. After Abu Sufyan left from Uhud, he called out to the believers, we're going to meet you again after 1 year from now. We have an appointment. We're going to meet at Badr, the location where the Battle of Badr was. فأمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بعض أصحابه أن يجيبه بنعم. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم ordered his companions, some of them, to answer back. You know, they're on the other side now. After the battle is done, بنعم, yes, we agree. After 1 year, we'll meet at Badr. فلما كان شعبان من هذه السنة نهض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى أتى بدرا للموعد. لذلك سمي هذه بدر الموعد. So this meeting after 1 year, which was now after the 3rd year, after 1 year would be the 4th year. He called this is called the Badr al-Maw'id, the Badr of the meeting place, the meeting time, appointment. So فاستخلف على المدينة عبد الله ibn Ubay. So the Prophet ﷺ left and he put in charge of Al-Madinah Abdullah ibn Ubay. Remember Abdullah ibn Ubay رأس المنافقين. لكن ابنه هذه من حكمة الله سبحانه وتعالى ومن تدبيره وتصرفه في الكون أن ابنه كان على الإسلام وحسن إسلامه بل كان يصلح للقيادة وللإمارة. So we see that from Allah's wisdom and how He makes things happen, you know, in a very unexpected way and a way with wisdom, that the son of Abdullah ibn Ubay, who was the leader of the hypocrites, his son was a Muslim. And rather, he was a very good Muslim, very, of course, from the Sahaba, and he was put in charge of Al-Madinah when the Prophet ﷺ left to meet Abu Sufyan in the following year. So the point is that his son was a believer. So Abu Sufyan, but he was coming, خرج من مكة, والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ذهب إلى بدر فأقام هنالك 8 ليال ثم رجع ولم يلقى كيدا. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he went to Badr, waiting for Abu Sufyan, he waited there 8 days. And Abu Sufyan never came. He never came. لماذا? Why not? لما كان ببعض الطريق بدا لهم الخروج لأجل جدب سنتهم فرجعوا. So why? Because there was a drought that year. Jadb, drought. So Abu Sufyan said, this لا يصلح لنا الغزو والذهاب في سنة جدب بل يعني نؤخره إلى سنة القادمة أو إلى سنة خصيب فترعون فيه الشجر وتشربون فيه اللبن وإن عامكم هذا عام جدب فرجع بالجيش. So he said, it's not right. We should fight at the time of drought. This is not good for us as a community. So we'll go back and wait till another time when there's fertile, and we can have crops and so on and be strong for the fight. فرجع. المهم والشاهد أن هذا في سنة الرابعة. فكيف يكون الأحزاب في سنة الرابعة والبدر الموعد حصلت في هذه السنة في شهر شوال؟ فمعناه أن الأحزاب كانت في العام المقبل في سنة 5 على الصحيح. So the point that we see how the scholars, they deduct and they deduce from the evidences and come with a conclusion and how they are strong in their understanding of the text. We benefit from these understanding. Okay, so as students, we should go back to the Kalam Ahl al-Ilm to see how they understand the text. It's not wise for a student to just depend on himself and say, I can understand by myself. No, they've already put in hours of time and work, and they يقربون البعيد. They will bring the knowledge close to us, and they make it easy for us to grasp. They've gone through all the work already, did the hard labor, and now they bring it right to our fingertips. So this is an example how they understood from this Badr al-Maw'id that al-Ahzab could not be in the fourth year. Mustahil. Okay, so that's an evidence that Al-Hafiz ibn Kathir mentioned. أما من قال أن الأحزاب كانت في الرابعة فاستدلوا بحديث في الصحيح أي صحيح البخاري. As far as those scholars who said that it was actually in the fourth year, that Ahzab was rather in the fourth year, they have an evidence. They didn't just make it up, but we can see how the scholars responded to that evidence. في هناك أخذ ورد بين أهل العلم، لا مانع من ذلك. أن واحد يحتاج بدليل والثاني يرد عليه بدليل. هذا من تلقي العلم، وهذا من يعني المناقشة الصحيحة بالأدب وأسلوب. No doubt that the scholars, when they bring in evidence to a certain point, it's okay for other scholars to respond to that evidence. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a discussion. And the point is, al-maqsood al-wusul ila al-haq, wal-haqqu haqqun yuttaba. And the point is to get to the truth. And the truth is what we want. Okay, that's the point. It's not just, oh, my sheikh said. No, my sheikh said. ثم يحصل شيء من التحزب ويعني والتقليد الأعمى. هذا مذموم. It's not that a person said, my sheikh said, another person said, my sheikh said. And then they said, they don't go beyond that. And no, I said, I have to support my sheikh. And the other said, I have to support my sheikh. And these students make a group. And these students make a group. And then there's nothing but blind following and just groups, partisanship. No basis. This is not seeking the truth. Rather, it is upon every yani munsif, person sincere, honest, who's just and fair, and ينظر إلى أدلة هؤلاء وينظر إلى أدلة هؤلاء ويأخذ بما وافق الحق وإن كان من قولي يعني غير شيخه يعني even if it is the statement of the other sheikh. Even if my sheikh does not say this statement, I have to take whatever is the truth, even if it doesn't come from my sheikh. This is the person who is sincere. As Allah said, وَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ إِن كُنتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. As Allah said, we're supposed to obey of course, obey Allah without restriction. أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. Obey Allah, no questions asked. Obey the messenger, no questions asked. They're never wrong. And those in authority amongst you, من أولو الأمر هم الأمراء والعلماء كما جاء في التفسير. Who are أولو الأمر? The people in authority. They are the rulers and they are the scholars, as in the tafsir of the Salaf. وَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ, but if you differ, if the rulers say something different, doesn't make sense, or the scholars say something and other scholars say different, and there's different now opinions, فَرُدُّوهُ أي الخلاف, then return the difference back to Allah and the Messenger, because that's معصوم. هذا قول الله معصوم وقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في تبليغ الرسالة معصوم. Allah, of course, لا يخطئ. Allah would never make a mistake. And of course, the messenger would not make a mistake in how he conveys the message. So there is the solution. Okay? For who? In kuntum tu'minuna billah. This is the attitude of the believer. The believer takes back to the book, the Quran and the Sunnah. And whatever differs from the Quran and Sunnah, he throws behind his back. كما قال أبو حنيفة رضي الله عنه قال إن وجدتم حديثا فخذ به وإن خالف قولي فارمي به أرض الحائط. Imam Abu Hanifa, great Imam. Also Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, they said the same statement. Imam Ahmad, all the Imams, they said the same thing. He said, if you find the hadith authentic, then grab it, take it. Even if it goes against my statement, rather take my statement, Imam Abu Hanifa, my word, my opinion, and throw it against the wall. La karam. There's no point. I mean, it's not about what I said, you said. It's the truth. Naduru ma sunnah haythu darat. The Salaf, they used to say, we're just wandering in this path. Wherever the sunnah leads us. Okay, we're going right. Or sunnah says, no, go left now. That's the ishara. Sign say go left. We don't say, okay, I'm going right. I'm just going to keep going right. I don't care. No, it says no, go left now. We got to go left. We don't have choice. No matter who says, go right. Sunnah says go left, we go left. End of story. So the point is that, So going back to this evidence, Ibn Hazm al-Andalusi قال في مغازي هذا قول أهل المغازي ثم قال والصحيح. So Ibn Hazm said, the scholars of the Seerah, they say the Ahzab was in the 5th year. Okay, but the correct opinion الذي لا شك فيه أنها في سنة 4. Ibn Hazm, great scholar, great Imam, rahimahullah, he said rather the correct opinion, it's in the 4th year. Okay, we already gave evidence that it's not in the 4th year, because where was that? Badr al-Maw'id was in the 4th year, when Abu Sufyan came and then he went back because of the drought. So, but let's go on. What's the proof for Ibn Hazm? وهو قول موسى ibn Uqba. Ibn Hazm said this opinion is the statement of Musa ibn Uqba. ثم احتج ابن حزم بحديث ابن عمر. Then Ibn Hazm brought evidence. He's not going to talk out of his head. He's going to bring his evidence. He brought evidence, a hadith ibn Umar. Hadith of Ibn Umar. قال أردت على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم أحد. He said, I was brought as a proposal to fight in the battle of Uhud, meaning I was enlisted. I tried to enlist to fight in the battle of Uhud. Man, Ibn Umar, radiallahu anhuma. وأنا ابن 14 سنة ولم يجزني, and I was only 14 years old at that time, 14. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not allow me to fight. Why? Because he's too young. As we'll see, that's not the cutoff to fight is 15. كما هو ثابت في السنة. The cutoff to fight is 15. So he was not allowed to fight in the battle of Uhud. وردت عليه يوم الخندق, and then I enlisted again on the battle of Khandaq, which we're talking about now, when we're trying to decide or understand when is the battle of Khandaq. وأنا ابن 15 فأجازني, and I was at that time 15 years old, meaning I had reached 15. He said literally on that day I was 15, so he allowed me. ما وجه الاستدلال? What is Ibn Hazm saying? He's saying, he was 14 when the 3rd year of Hijrah, Battle of Uhud, and Battle of Khandaq, he is now 15. So that means it's the 4th year. هذا وجه الاستدلال. هذا يعني له وجه. This is the point that you can say it's reasonable. But how can we understand it to fit with the other evidence we mentioned before? فصح أنه لم يكن بينهما إلا سنة. هذا ابن حزم يقول. So then it should be only 1 year between أحد and أحزاب. قلت أي الحافظ ابن كثير هذا الحديث مخرج في الصحيحين. Yes, this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim about Ibn Umar. وليس يدل على ما ادعاه, but it does not indicate what he claims. Ibn Hazm. Why? لأن مناط إجازة الحرب كانت عنده صلى الله عليه وسلم 15 سنة وكان لا يجيز من لم يبلغها. Why? Because the limit to fight was 15, as we established, and no one below 15 could fight. ومن بلغها أجازة. Whoever was 15 and above, doesn't have to be 15 on the dot. You could be more than 15. Be 16, of course. There's adults who fight who are more than. The point is, you have to be above 15. فلما لم يكن ابن عمر يوم أحد ممن بلغها لم يجز، ولما كان قد بلغها يوم الخندق أجازها، ليس ينفي هذا أن يكون قد زاد عليها سنة أو سنتين أو ثلاث أو أكثر من ذلك. He said, this is the point, the good understanding. This is Ibn Qayyim understanding and Ibn Kathir and other scholars. He said, just because he was allowed to fight doesn't mean he was on the dot 15. He was more than 15. It could be 2 years, 1 year past 15, could be 2 years, could be 16, 17, 18. The point is, يعني معنى الحديث يعني أردت عليه يوم الخندق وأنا قد بلغت. هذا المعنى. أنا ابن 15 سنة، أي أنا قد بلغت الحد المطلوب لمن يجيزه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. وإن كنت فوق الحد هذا لم يبينه في كلامي. So the point is that he just said, I'm in the age of allowance now. I've reached the age. That's all he meant. وكأنه قال أردت عليه يوم الخندق وأنا بالغ. هذا معنى كلام. This means that I was now a mature man and I was allowed to fight on the Battle of Khandaq. So then he could have been 16. And that's what he was. He was 16 because it's 2 years on the dot after Uhud when he was 14. Now he's 16, so Khandaq is in the 5th year. طيب. So inshallah نكتفي بهذا القدر. We'll stop here for, out of time, but inshallah we'll mention, go into more details في درس القادم in the next class about ما هو سبب هذه الغزوة. What is the reason for this battle? و ما هي سورة ابتلاء المؤمنين في هذه الغزوة. كانت الابتلاء كما نذكره ملخصا من عدة جوانب. أولا كثرة عدد الأحزاب، بلغوا عدد يعني مهيل، عدد كبير. هم كانوا 10,000 مقاتل. 10,000 الأحزاب. Why was there a big test on this battle, Ahzab, Khandaq? For many forms and many avenues. Number one, the enemy was greatly outnumbering the believers. They were 10,000. We said not just Quraysh, Ghatafan, another big tribe, في نجد, Quraysh من مكة, Banu Qurayza, Munafiqun من داخل. Yani a lot of different variety of enemy. So they have to be, head on a swivel, as they say, looking around. The attack could come from anywhere. And great number, 10,000. كم عدد المسلمين؟ 3,000 مقاتل على الصحيح. How many number of the believers? Only 3,000. فهم ضعفين. They're triple numbers, 10,000 versus 3,000. Okay, so this is ابتلاء, هذا امتحان وتمهيث. This is a big test. That's why the munafiqun, they failed, because they're not believers. هم كانوا كما بينه الله. We'll continue inshallah next class to read from the Surah Al-Ahzab. Allah mentioned the munafiqun, how they were afraid and they tried to make excuses. They said, no, we fear for our family. No, in aradu illa firara. No, they only want to flee. قالوا, we mentioned يقولون بيوتنا أورى. They said our homes are exposed, meaning we're afraid Banu Qurayza is going to come attack from behind. So they didn't want to build the trench. They left the work, and they were actually not worried about their family. إِن يُرِيدُوا إِلَّا فِرَارًا. Allah said they only wanted to run away. أي فِرَارًا مِنَ الْمَوْتِ وَحِرْصًا على الحياة والدنيا. They wanted to live. They were afraid of dying. That's the bottom line. So and so more. We'll mention inshallah that also هذا من صور الابتلاء تخاذل المنافقين وإحداثهم التشويش في المؤمنين ويعني التوهين والإرجاف يعني بث الإرجاف قالوا هذا المقولة قالوا إذ يقول المنافقون والذين في قلوبهم مرض ما وعدنا الله ورسوله إلا غرورا يأذن بالله. So this is from also the test, because the hypocrites are in the back here, from behind, in the rows of the Muslims. They're saying, "Oh, people of Medina," talking to the Ansar. Ya Ahl al-Medina. They said, uh, يا إذ يقول قالت طائفة منهم يا أهل يثرب لا مقام لكم فارجعوا. They said, "Oh, people of Medina, this is not a place for you." Meaning, build this trench. You're doing all this work day and night, tiring yourself out. This is no use. Huh? ما وعدنا الله ورسوله إلا غرورا. They also said, Allah and His Messenger did not clearly. They're saying very kufr, very clear. They did not promise us except deception. Huh? They're saying, why are they trying to cause doubt in the believers? Tashkik, weaken them, weaken their resolve, spreading these lies and false statements to try to weaken the believers so that they leave the work. Huh? فهم أهل الجام لكن المؤمن مقدام نشيد المنافقون كسالى وإذا قاموا إلى الصلاة قاموا كسالى. So this because the disbelievers the hypocrites are lazy. They don't want to work. It's hard to build a trench. We'll mention how deep the trench was, how wide, how long. واسع, very big trench they had to build, deep and so on. And also, so the hypocrites, what? They're lazy. And they're afraid of the enemy. They have all these diseases. So they try to discourage the believers from working. But the believer works. He has to work. Huh? He has to work to, هذا من سنة الله الأخذ بالأسباب. He has to do the work. So anyway, so the point is that this is from the test. The munafiqun, also there was hunger, we'll mention, very severe hunger. حتى كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعصب على بطنه حجرا أو حجرين والصحابة كذلك. They used to, so hungry, they had to suppress their hunger. When your stomach is empty, you have to make it full. If you can't feel it from inside, you feel it from outside. So they used to take like a stone and tie it to their stomach to push it down to make it feel somewhat like it's full. So to suppress the hunger. And the Prophet ﷺ has to put 2 stones. So much he was sharing. He wasn't sitting in the back. He was on the front line. As in the battles too. In the fight, he was in the front. And in the work, he was in the front. And we'll mention, inshallah, some of the work he did in this building the trench, inshallah, in the next class. So, والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم والله الموفق لما يحب ويرضى وجزاكم الله خيرا أجمعين. Any questions?
Yes, where before this trench built before?
Yeah, the trench, because it's going to come that Salman al-Farisi, the Prophet ﷺ took counsel. He gathered the Sahaba when he heard the army is coming, Al-Ahzab. So he took, mashura, هذا sunnah, وشاورهم في الأمر, as Allah said, وشاورهم, ask advice from your people. And so he asked his advice and asked, from the Sahaba. And Salman al-Farisi قال لما كنا in the القوم in the Faris, in the room, فارس, قال كانوا في مثل هذا الموقف يحرفون خندق لمنع الأعداء لمنع طريقهم إليهم So he said that they used to, Salman al-Farisi, he said he gave this advice, what his experience was. He said when we were when I was in the Faris in Persia, then I saw them, the leaders and the people of the armies, when a similar circumstance was happening, to prevent the enemy from reaching their lands, they would build a trench. The trench is like, it's deep, so you cannot pass it. So this trench, basically, we mentioned in the Medina, we mentioned on the south was Banu Qurayza. At this point, they had not betrayed the trust, the covenant. So they were still on the side, peace with the believers. And there were also houses there, the Hunak Buyut and the south. So no one can come through the houses very easily. You can't bring an army. Okay? And Banu Qurayza is supposedly there. ثم على الجهة الشرق هناك حرة، يعني منطقة ملبوسة بالحجارة، حجارة سوداء. So وكذلك على جهة غرب. And on the right and left, there's, as someone goes driving through Medina, you'll see on the east and west, هناك لابتان حرتان, land that is very filled with rocks, covered with rocks, sharp rocks, like kind of like volcanic rock, black. You can't traverse it. You can't walk through it. So they're protected. No one enemy can come from the east. No enemy can come from the west, and they can't come from the south. So الخندق ربط بين الحرتين أو اللابتين. So what is the purpose of the trench on the north? To bridge between these rocky areas, to completely, shield Al-Madinah from now on the fourth direction. And this is the direction where, of course, the kuffar, they came, because there's no other way. So they came from the north, and so the trench was to block off their last pathway to entry. And so that's what happened. But they tried. يعني حاولوا أن يجتازوا الخندق، لكن الله أيد المؤمنين بالريح والجنود. So they still tried. That's why Allah said He assisted them with the wind to put out their fires and overturn their tents on their side, on the north side, the disbelievers. And so they were not able to, get by. But it was a deterrent. This is it's a maneuver, military maneuver. You still see it. Like, for example, it's famous in the battles. They do that, like World War battles and things. They used to build trenches, and the army would be on one side to prevent the horses and so on from passing by. You can't pass by. It's deep. It's a deep trench. If they try to pass by, they can't, and it's wide all the way between the rocky areas. No entryway past to the houses, Al Medina. Yeah. So, yeah.
جزاكم الله خير.
وإياك. No other questions? طيب. جزاكم الله خير. وإياك.